Look, I'm right like 95% of the time. Not even trying to brag, just simple fact. And I used to have these soldiers that would question me while at the range because they sucked at shooting, and I would be trying to coach them, and they'd say they couldn't do it, and I'd be like, look, dumbass, obviously you can't do it, so shut up, listen to me, and do it my way. And then guess what? They'd fucking pass. What's up, Jammer?
Oh, so much. So much is up. It's so weird being outside of the industry and having to worry about, other things to the point where you feel like you're behind everything. That's kind of how I feel, especially last week. I was kind of on board with most of what was happening at Disney, but I know there's a lot more that's kind of followed up with it. There's a lot of other smaller details. It's just interesting. I haven't been through this lens in like 6 or 7 years, maybe longer, of basically not being directly on top of it.
Sorry, I had to throw a stuffed BB-8 at the door to get the cat to stop pawing at it. I was like looking at my desk is filled with like Grimlock and a plaster leprechaun from Ireland and a plastic dragon sword, and like none of those are good to throw at the door. No. And then I saw fucking plush BB-8, and I was like, perfect. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to LRMornings today with, I already said his name, Kyle and
Jammer.
And what little things have come out since our epic 4-hour long live stream, which you guys can catch on YouTube still if you want to see what we did for the live stream for shits and giggles. It's there on the LRM online YouTube channel. What other little things are you talking about that have got you nostalgic for the industry?
Let's see here. I'm trying to think of some of the Disney stuff, like all of like the Disney Plus stuff, like all the shows that are getting some sort of properties.
We have of course Miss Marvel. We have She-Hulk, Moon Knight.
So wait, She-Hulk. Tim Roth is coming back for that, right?
Tim Roth is coming back as Abomination.
Yeah. That's so crazy. That's so cool how they're slowly pulling back. They're slowly but surely not ignoring that movie.
Yeah, I agree. And I like Tim Roth as an actor.
Yeah, me too.
So I think he's a cool guy. And he was absolutely not the worst part of the Incredible Hulk
I don't think
movie.
there was anything
It was
that
decent
bad.
Movie.
No, it was okay. It was like, I've rewatched it and it was like, it's fine.
That's why I said decent.
I don't know if I'd call it decent. I was like, it's fine.
Oh, for me, decent means fine.
Okay.
Decent means like lukewarm. Like if it's on, you can watch it, but you yourself might not necessarily put it on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, for
me, that's fine.
I don't think I'd even watch it if it was on. I would just be like,
okay. Well, then that's less than fine.
Yeah, I was like, this thing, it's like, it's not bad. It's just not something I like. I guess there's sort of that differentiation there between what I like and what is okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like the levels of and kids drink responsibly and only at the age of your appropriate country. But it's kind of like the how everybody's got different words for the different levels of drunk, wasted or sloshed or shit-faced or whatever, and everybody's got like a different top tier word for the worst drunk you can be. I guess me and you are same with movies and use similar words to describe different tiers of movies. Anyways, continue on.
I will say there's you guys kind of did talk about this, and I know you're a big advocate in one way. So I hate to do this, and I think you saw it on Slack.
Yeah, I already responded to Mike about it, and I got what Mike said was.
So we should give some context to this before you reveal what Mike said.
Yeah,
So the context.
Rogue Squadron is a movie being directed by Patty Jenkins. She has not announced the writer yet. As a matter of fact, she tweeted yesterday, and I'll paraphrase, we're not ready to announce the writer. We want him to have his own grand reveal, is what she tweeted. And that's a paraphrase. So Rogue Squadron is coming out in 2023. They describe it as a bunch of a new wave of pilots earning their wings. Okay, that's the short description of the movie, being called Rogue Squadron, coming out in December of 23. Is that the context?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
And now you have to get further context of what
now
you're
the other
pushing.
context.
Okay.
So everyone knows that has a heartbeat and knows what Star Wars was before Disney. And that's not an attack on any Disney fans. I'm just trying to say, like, EU people that know the EU know Rogue Squadron very well. Whether it came from video games such as the old GameCube and N64 games that people really liked. And of course the comic book series. Oh, and there was one more thing that was big with Rogue Squadron. What was it? Oh yeah, a series of 10 novels written between Michael A. Stackpole and the late Aaron Allston. And it included the first book called Rogue Squadron, which was about reforming a beaten up Rogue Squadron, after years of civil war, and a bunch of new pilots earning their wings to be a part of the galaxy's what the New Republic had hoped would just be a PR stunt, but then you had guys like Thrawn and others show up, and Rogue Squadron had to go out and be the real badass Rogue Squadron. So I don't expect I've said this years ago. I don't want the EU page for page in Star Wars. I'm a lot like you. I want to see new stuff.
Right.
But I love to see some things. We've already seen them borrow from the EU religiously. And that was
from the get-go that they wanted to do. Is they wanted to borrow from the
Yeah.
EU without being beholden to it.
Which is which it can be great as long as they do it well. I think anybody that does not think Ben Solo started out as your favorite Jason Solo, no, that is Ben.
I'm aware of that, but I was just hissing at Jason Solo. I was just hissing at Jason.
Yeah, I know. You hate that. You hate that C in the name,
yes.
The CE,
yeah,
N instead of SON. But anyways, especially in 7 and 8, a little less in 9, but 100% Jason Solo through and through, right? An example of borrowing from the EU without being beholden to the Jason Jaina story, Jaina killing Jason and stuff like that. On the orders of her uncle Luke. You mean to tell me that even old EU Luke Skywalker wasn't perfect? Yeah,
Calm
that's
down.
right.
You're getting dangerously close to praising The Last Jedi. Calm down.
I praise the Luke stuff all the time. Anyway, so there's your context. Is that enough context?
Oh yeah, it's plenty. That's like too much context.
There we go. We've got a movie coming out named directly, legitimately, after the first book, with a synopsis that fits the first book. So what does that mean? In normal Hollywood, it would mean we would get a bunch of brand new characters. You almost have to have someone play Wedge, but it all depends on where they put the movie at.
Yeah.
Now, during our live stream, Mike relayed a message from a source of his that said basically, hey, they're not they learned their lesson from the sequel trilogy, and that they're not going to be taking anything from Legends or EU. Star Wars will not be referencing old books or Legends content. The reasoning is they don't want to be handicapped like the sequel trilogy was. I'll say this first off: the Legends didn't handicap the sequel trilogy in any way whatsoever. What handicapped the sequel trilogy, honestly, was the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And their attempt to recreate that. Jammer, am I completely bonkers? Or
I mean,
do you not see the OT being more of an issue than the books were?
I don't know if it was an issue. I don't think the OT was an issue. I think it was just the issue. The main issue was I wouldn't call the OT the main issue. Yes, it impacted them negatively because of how they used it, but that's on them. I think that's more on them than it is on the original trilogy. So like they didn't need a Starkiller base. They didn't need a the Emperor to come back. Like those things that they were tied to, that's what restricted them. That wasn't. I don't say they were restricted to by the original trilogy, but they were restricted by the confines of their own imagination. And I agree also that I don't think that the Legends really restricted them either. It was just what they decided to use from it. I don't think it was restricted. I just think that that's what they decided to use, and they could have used something else, or they could have not used it. Like they really weren't restricted by it. But I mean, if that's how they want to view it, I guess that's what they could do.
And if that's how, if you know what, screw it, I don't care if you, I put on the hat because my fucking hair is terrible. But anyways, it's I wonder right now who's making choices. Does Lucasfilm already? Because Kennedy's contract ends in 2021. I don't remember the month. Do you?
I think it's late. I think it's like November or December or something like that.
I thought it was like August, September. So
maybe
fall, winter, maybe somewhere towards third, fourth quarter of
I'll look it up while we're talking.
Calendar year. Okay, so Kennedy's contract is coming up, and we know that. We've had no signs or words of her being re-signed. I even think they said
it says
once
through 2021, so maybe December.
So we don't know the.
I'm assuming through 2021 means the entire year.
Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll find out. Either way, she's not going to be there for Rogue Squadron. Patty Jenkins herself even said it was kind of funny because Jenkins almost poked fun in a tweet at Star Wars's 2015 to 2019 every year a Star Wars movie plan. She tweeted out, you can't do a Star Wars movie in 1 year, and these guys weren't doing them all in 1 year. There was multiple pre-productions going on and stuff like that. But I think what she was trying to get at is
be patient. It's not coming tomorrow.
Not just that, but also that what Disney had said months ago that there was going to be at least 2 years between movies. You remember originally they announced it was 21, 23, 25, and 27. It was a trilogy and Taika's movie, right? That was months and months and months and months ago. And now it's Rogue Squadron and Taika's movie, and no date for Taika, which we know now won't be 21. Thor: Love and Thunder's going.
Yeah, we've known for a while that it wouldn't be 2021.
Exactly.
We knew that it was going to be at least past 24.
The 23 or 25 one is, I think, what we were thinking at one point.
Yeah,
as a possibility. But anyways, let's get to Rogue Squadron and what Mike said in my response. Absolutely, 100%. It all depends on when this takes place. Like I said, the synopsis fits the book. New pilots, you're trying to reform Rogue Squadron. I'm down with all of that. I didn't like Mike or Nick's idea of having it take place between episodes 4 and 5. What do you think about that, Jammer?
would be.
I don't like it because Luke
'cause
is still there and he's supposed to be
a part
Rogue
of it.
Leader.
Yeah, I bet you people are going to want like Sebastian Stan for him or something.
That's exactly what Nick and Mike said.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I mean,
I don't like that idea.
I mean, you can make it. I mean, Rogue Squadron. It doesn't have to be a particular time period, right? It could be. It could be after the First Order falls. Even it could be.
Exactly. You could take that idea from Stackpole's book of we need a because that's what it all started out as, is the politicians of the New Republic came to Wedge and they said, we need a symbol to fly around the galaxy for PR stunts, basically. And that's what we want Rogue Squadron to do. So he actually fought with like the Admiralty and the politicians because they were trying to fill the roster with certain species from certain planets that had been key to the rebellion's success. Mm-hmm. And Wedge would be like, this guy can't fly, or this Mon-Cal can't fly, or this Bothan can't fly, or whatever the case may be. So that whole like storyline in that book can literally work in any era, like you said, or not book, movie synopsis.
Yeah, synopsis.
Yeah, the story.
You might hate this. I'm curious. What about Poe Dameron?
Having him form it.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm legitimately okay. But I will say this, and this is what I said to Mike. Everyone that's ever listened to LRMornings knows I'm a huge EU fan. Knows that I'm a huge Rogue Squadron X-Wing fan and a huge Mike Stackpole fan. As a matter of fact, I talked to Mike fairly regularly, did a 2-hour it wasn't even an interview, Jammer, was it? It was a conversation. Me, you, and Mike Stackpole had a 2-hour conversation.
Yeah.
And I think it was pretty cool. You guys can check it out on the LRM Online Podcast Network, wherever you get podcasts from. It's so beloved. And you can go online now and on any Facebook group or Twitter and see people talking Rogue Squadron. It's so beloved that it's almost dangerous for Disney not to set it the day, the week, the month after Return of the Jedi, recast Wedge, use that same base story. We got to reform Rogue Squadron. I don't need Aniri. I don't need Quran. I don't need Gavin Darklighter. I don't need Vort Sabine Ring. Like, I know you don't know any of these names. I'm just I'm putting my EU dick out on the desk. I don't need all of those, right? You can bring in a lot of new pilots, but I think Disney is in danger if they don't pay the proper respect to Rogue Squadron. I know you're going to disagree with me, so go ahead and tell me why. I
mean, I honestly don't care that much. The only reason I think maybe we shouldn't is just because it's another way for people to, or for them to pull a solo by recasting someone else in a role that's already pretty prominent. That's the only thing I would say is like, I feel like almost that's a disservice because, that's not Wedge. We're going to look at him
with Wedge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That is. I agree with you. Yeah. That is one.
That's the potential only concern. Other than that, though, sure.
Bad part of it.
If it wasn't for that, I'd be like, sure, do the same story. I don't care. That works for me.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
well, like I said, at the end of the day, I don't even want to see all the same pilots.
Even if they recast him, though, it's like,
yeah,
I don't think it's dangerous for them not to do it, though. I mean, because Rogue Squadron it's like a name and a premise. It's not any group of characters necessarily.
Well, no, it is a group of characters. It's Wedge Antilles and Luke Skywalker primarily for most people, and then for millions of others, there's a bunch of those other names that I mentioned, mm-hmm. and as they died and were replaced throughout the book series, that's
what I'm saying. They're not. That's what I'm saying. Is there's a bunch of people. It's not like not like any one group. That's what I'm saying.
No. and they could theoretically have
What if they pulled like what if they pulled like a Marvel where it's like they do the Poe Dameron idea and then they constantly refer back to like the older one and how their philosophy sort of influences them. Maybe they could even have flashbacks to those older ones and how that sort of influences. They could have flashbacks to like the Wedge Antilles stuff, and then how maybe it influences the perspective of the Poe Dameron stuff going forward.
Maybe, and we know Wedge survived, but we also know that the actor that plays Wedge didn't really care for his time in Star Wars, and actually told his nephew or cousin, Ewan McGregor is his nephew or cousin, can't remember. Nephew, there you go. Actually told Ewan McGregor not to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if you could get an old Wedge Antilles to be like Admiral Antilles as part of the New Republic, to satiate some of the more rabid fans. Maybe, I don't know. I do know that you could definitely use some of those.
See, that's the thing. There's the danger there. Is like
in a Poe Dameron era,
having to satiate the rabid fans. I feel like it's just so dangerous. Like, don't even bother trying. That's why I think Disney.
That's what Zack Snyder's Justice League is. That's what satiating rabid fans.
That's why I just hate the idea of them like, oh yeah, they need to do this to satiate the fans. I'm like, no, just tell a story. And I think it's probably why they're going like, we're going to do our own thing because we don't want to try to satiate the fans, because when we try to satiate them, they get pissed off no matter what. So I almost don't blame them for not wanting to do that.
Well, they were we can legitimately say that for the most part, over 50%, a majority of people were satiated by Force Awakens and Rogue One.
I don't agree with that.
You don't think so?
Not with Rogue One. I think a lot of hardcore fans were.
That's what I just said. Fans were satiated.
Oh, I know that, but I'm saying I think like the super hardcore fans were, but I'm not sure about fans. Okay, the rabid fans. I don't know about 50%, maybe. I think Rogue One is such an. I just don't like that movie.
I think at least 50.01% of the rabid fans were okay with 7, because they were like, okay, you rehashed 4, but you brought in some new characters, some new questions, and you made it look really good. So we're okay with that. And then they saw Rogue One, and a lot of those rabid fans were like, that felt like an EU book. That felt like an EU movie, plus badass Darth Vader at the end. So they were happy with it. And then
no character growth, no arcs, no anything, but whatever.
Not really.
No good protagonists, but anyways.
Nope. But it was fun to watch for them, and they liked it. So at least 50.01 or 50.1% of the rabid fans were okay with those 2 movies. I agree with you 100%. Having Poe Dameron doing flashbacks is fine. But I will say Disney, I would highly suggest that the name Mike Stackpole is Patty, even if it's just Patty occasionally calling him herself to touch basis with, not even how would you do it, but when you were going through this process, what was on your mind? Or I need an X-Wing and I think I want it to do this. Do you think it can really do that type of thing? I'm even with you at the point now where I don't care if he gets anything on screen, a credit or anything. I just personally I need to know that and she did tweet out that she hopes that they do him well, they pay him respect. I can't remember the wording she used, but she did tweet Mike directly. And as the days go by, I'm easing into it, but I do think that some of those pilots, a Gavin Darklighter, an Aniri Forge, and I'm sorry, Mike, if I'm mispronouncing some of their names, Vort Sabingring, some of those guys could pop up in the New Republic post First Order era, and you can kind of get your cake and eat it too. I think you can do something completely unique, pay homage to the past, and maybe even give us a character. And you know what? Fuck it. Don't even do Gavin, Aniri, Vort, any of them. Do their grandkid. Have Gavin Darklighter, who everyone knows was Biggs, well, EU fans know was Biggs Darklighter's nephew, and Biggs died in the Death Star 1 attack. Gavin joins after Return of the Jedi at 17. So you could have his grandson, you could have a Darklighter, like a 5th generation Darklighter. And that for me, as a Rogue Squadron fan, that would be enough. Right. What do you think, Jammer? Do I sound like a rabid fan, or do I sound a little logical?
I'll let it pass. We should actually wrap this up, though.
Oh, okay. I thought I sounded logical. Anyways,
I mean, you sounded fine. Sorry.
Okay.
I have nothing to rebut that won't take longer, so I figure we should cut it off there.
Okay, all right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Jammer's got to go be a professional. Guys, make sure you're checking out LRMonline.com every single day for all your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. The YouTube channel, please subscribe to that. We did a live stream. We're going to start doing more live streams. It went pretty well, so please subscribe. And the podcast network, wherever you get podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud is great because we got everything available for you on playlists. Jammer, tell people where they can find you at online if you still do things.
Jam the Writer on Twitter, and you can find my books under the name AJ Cerna on Audible and Amazon, and there's a new book coming out maybe this month or next month. We'll see.
That's the sequel to God
Mode. Yep.
God Mode.
It's called Glitch King.
There you go. You guys can find me at that Kyle Malone. I think that's the fastest in plug for Stutterer everywhere. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.